Need for Speed has got to be one of the most interesting franchises out there, especially for racing. Not because the games are good or not, but because of how varied the games are. What started as basic, exotic car racing with some cops, eventually evolved into the undergroundy racing scene, with cops added a bit later, but those cops were fucking crazy. Then it had an identity crisis, but then we're back to the undergroundy racing again. But that identity crisis is what I find personally to be the most interesting part of the franchise. We had what was like a reboot of the original exotic car racing with cops, but now the cops had weapons and health, and you also had weapons and health, which is unique to say the least. There was legal street racing, which was neat.
That's pretty neat.
We had racing across the entire US, trying to win millions of dollars, because, you know, the mob. It's just what the mob does ever. And we also had the worst excuse for a racing game ever. But last and not least were the simulation games. The Civ games are widely forgotten about, even within the fanbase. And while Civ 1 is a great game, Civ 2 is something entirely different. Where do I even start with this game? Like, seriously, this game has a lot going for it. Like, a lot. Like, a lot. It's just a lot. Well, let's start with the first thing you'll notice when you boot up the game. The vibe. This is a dramatic game. It's dark, it's mystifying, and it's intense. Everything from the music to the menus to the gameplay with the crashes and all that, it's all so dramatic. Hell, just watch the intro cutscene to the game. It sets off the perfect mood for when you begin the game.
So you want to be a professional driver?
Red flag. 1276, turn 1. Getting out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Should be all clear. You know, I'm being overly cautious and I need to not be.
It's a non-stop battle. A battle with your fear, a battle with the course, and a battle with the other drivers. The power and speed playing you in the seat. It's the best feeling on earth.
Guys, I swear that intro gives me goosebumps every time I watch it. That intro has to be one of my favorite intro cutscenes to any game I've ever played. It's so well put together, and it showcases what the game is like with its dramatic eeriness. And this isn't one of those pussy sim games like Forza Motorsport, Gran Turismo, Assetto Corsa, Ford Racing 3. This is a man's game. Like seriously, while usual sim games are just focused on the driving and trying to make it seem all real as possible. Ooh, it's gotta be real. Civ 2 focuses on making it interesting. First thing is Need for Speed's signature sense of speed. You really feel like you're going fast in here. Like, really fast. Like, seriously, really fucking fast. It's quick. Plus, the handling itself is unique. It's both responsive and slidey at the same time, and it mixes together in a way that somehow is great. However, it's worth noting that I play with a controller, so it may play completely differently with the wheel. And also, the assists in the game could ruin the experience for you, so I recommend to tune the assists to something you're comfortable with. Here's my tune, in case you're wondering, because I'm the best. Okay, back to the video. But just like real racing, you want to stay away from the other drivers. Touching them will screw you over and most likely put you into a wall. You don't want to go there, do you? Into a wall? I don't think so. However, the thing I like the most about the gameplay is how violent the cars are, especially in A-Class with helmet cam. The violent camera movements and the handling make the game super intense to play. Plus, the helmet cam is, in my opinion, the way you should play this game. It is a phenomenal camera. Cannot recommend it enough. In fact, the entire handling in the game was designed around the helmet cam, I think. But it feels like it. And it really shows. Personally, I cannot play in any other view. I just can't. The head movements with looking at the approaching apex, and when you slam on the brakes, you move forward in the car with your G-forces. Same when you slam on the gas and you go back into your seat. And the crashes. Oh god, the crashes. Honestly, when you see the crashes from the replay camera, they do look hilariously bad. But in gameplay, wow, like holy shit, you feel like you should be dead. Like, it's that violent. Everything blurs, loses color, the hearing gets all fucked up, and the entire camera is shaking. It's so much better than the thud of other racing games.
I'm gonna remember this moment for the rest of my life.
When you flip your car in something like Forza, it's just your car rolling over with some small dents on it. In Shift 2, when you roll your car, you have a second of panic. When your car starts to go up on two wheels, then it flips with the entire car being demolished. The wheels can even fly off, and you could drive without the wheels. You can drive, well, attempt to drive without wheels. That is awesome. Not a good idea. It's not easy, and you just kind of just keep veering into the walls. But my point is, this game is intense, and honestly, it doesn't even feel like you're the car like in other racing games where you just feel like you're playing as the car. It feels like you're playing as the guy in the car. It gives it this sense of panic and intensity where you're trying to control a 1,000 horsepower monstrosity of a beast, and you're wrestling with the controls of the car, and at any moment you could slam to a wall, and I love it. It gives me this feeling no other sim game can give me. Excitement. It's so rewarding when you win an event because it feels like the most hard racing experience ever. I think you might be able to see a theme here. This game is intense. Everything comes together to create the most intense sim racer out there. It is awesome. But then there's the night racing. Racing in the night is stressful, it's horrifying, and it's dark. Very dark. It's like the light box was turned off and the only lights on the track are from headlights and the buildings and billboards, because you gotta see the advertisement for G Fuel. Use code KEEM! When you're going 150 miles per hour and you can't see exactly where you're going, it is frightening to say the least.
Ah, the memories with this one. I still have nightmares.
It shows that racing at night is the hardest time to race. It gives this game an extra layer of challenge, and it's extremely rewarding when you complete a race in the pitch dark. However, for me, one small thing that I like is with other people's headlights. When you're alone, it's just you. The only lights on the road are yours. However, when you're in a group of racers, or like in front of all the racers, there are moving lights everywhere. And when people are behind you and you're looking in your rearview mirror, you see where they are while you're racing in darkness, and it's stressful. Plus, I also love how their lights can also reflect inside your interior, making the usually pitch black interior brightly lit up and reminding you that they are right on your ass. It's the small things. It's the small things that can make the experience better. Like, seriously, this game is not for the faint of heart. I'm not talking about how you need to be a car nut or a sim god to play this game. Just how the game is willing to do whatever it can to stress you out. From the gameplay to the vibe of the entire game. It is amazing.
Speaking of vibe,
The menus. The creativity and brilliance of the main menu is awesome. Normally racing games go one of three ways. A menu with various shots of car or background footage, a normal boring menu, or no menu at all. You know, just skip to the gameplay because that's fun. But Shift 2 is different. Well, yes, it is various shots of a GT1 GTR. It's not just sitting in a garage, a parking lot, or parallel dimension like the other games. It's on a racetrack. Mid-race, time is frozen. Plus, with it being nighttime, the cars everywhere are battling for first place. And even the fact there's a car mid-crash, upside down, right in front of you. It's like yet another way the game shows how intense it is to play this game. Wow, great script writing, GG. And then there's the music. Oh god, the music. The Gladiator remixes they used in the menu are fucking phenomenal. I don't know if I need to explain how amazing they are since I've had them playing throughout this entire video. But they're just so good. They took the normal songs from the game, which most of them were great songs. They were great songs. And then they gave them amazing, dramatic, and intense remixes. Wow, intense. Never heard that word before. Hell, these aren't the only remixes of these songs. Each song has the Gladiator remix for the menu, and then for replays, there is the normal song, which is the normal version of the song. It's pretty self-explanatory. There is the Dirty remix for all you Beat Boop fans, and the cinematic remix, which are yet more intense, dramatic songs for the game. Seriously, this game has a lot of music. A lot. Seriously, this game's soundtrack is phenomenal. Highly recommend a listen. In fact, I'll have a link in the description to the game's NFS soundtrack page, which is like this website where it lists all the soundtrack in the game, and it even lets you listen to the songs directly on the page, so you don't need to look up any, it's just in the description. Also, apparently there's music in the drift mode, and it's just more just ignore it. Just ignore it. Speaking of the drifter mode,
it's awful.
That mode, without any shadow of a doubt, is the game's biggest fault. I'm happy that the drift mode is optional if you want to complete the game. That I feel like is a good decision because it's fucking shit. It's fucking garbage. Drift mode in this game's fucking atrocious. Like, I will say that it is cool that there are custom drift tracks And it's also an open area where you could just drive around and free drive in when you beat the drift tutorial. But the drift handling, it's just so fucking awful. It's just ruins all of that. Maybe it's because I suck, which is definitely a fact. I legit can't figure out how to manage to get drift chains, and I nearly spin in like every corner. I couldn't even bother getting more than a minute of drift footage. I hated it so much that I almost quit in the third corner. Instead, I quit in the fourth corner. Yeah. Proud. Every time I go off script, I make a terrible joke. Every fucking time. Anyways, what is a racing game without cars? And cars, this game indeed has. In fact, this game has the biggest car list in any Need for Speed game of the Evils.
Looking at those cars! That's a lot!
There's like a billion cars in this game, like seriously. Like, anything ranging from boring everyday cars to some supercars. Got some race cars in there. And who can forget the ancient legend, the Mark I Golf. Truly the best and fastest car to ever be produced. Okay, so it's not the fastest thing ever, but you can make it fast. Upgrading in this game is, in my opinion, the way you should upgrade in sim racers. Simple for those who don't care too much about cars, and extremely in-depth for car nuts. Example, tuning. Look at all these fucking options, like holy shit. Like, I like cars a lot, but it's mostly because of the racing games I grew up with. So, I don't understand shit I'm looking at here, like, but for dimwits like me, there's two types of tuning. The crazy shit I just showed you, and then the simple tuning. This is like a few balls of ranging from like super basic things like, do you want top speed or acceleration? I would prefer a little bit of acceleration. Okay, do that. You don't have to worry about changing a billion fucking things, which is nice. It's nice to have that option. However, my favorite thing about the upgrading system are the works upgrades. Like when you're putting upgrades in your car, a little bar fills up. Once it's at 75%, you can upgrade your car into a pure race car. And this works with almost every stock vehicle in the game. I love works. Since I have a fuckload of money, I don't need to think about what I'm putting in my car. I just put enough to worksify it. Of course, that could mean a car that is way too fast. Like, you get an A-class car, give it works, you're literally asking to die, because this game's unique with that. But if you take like a C or D class car and then put works in it, the car can handle like great. However, that's performance. When it comes to visual upgrades, which is like the most important thing to the car community apparently, it's a bit iffy. Each car has their default colors and some default race liveries. So, if you just want to pick how your car looks without doing any work, you can. The option's there. But if you want to make something, you're stuck with one of the wonkiest livery editors I've ever used. Like, it makes Need for Speed Carbon's livery editor look like perfection. Same with on the cover. It's so weird to use, and the camera barely moves, that it makes it near impossible to make a good looking car. If you can use it, I applaud you. However, it is entirely optional because you never need to change how your car looks. It's just there if you're into that kind of shit.
Also, you can change wheels, but I'm too lazy to do that.
You may remember me. It's me, Jamie Campbell Walter.
I have no idea who the fuck you are, dude. I've never heard of you prior to this game's release or after this game's release. Don't walk up to me and go like, "Hey, dude, you know me, so I'm gonna beat you." It's like I don't know who the fuck you are. I have a lot more positive points about this game, but no coherent way to put them all together. So here's random shit I like about Shift 2 Unleashed. Team Need for Speed. I fucking love how they did the story mode. Each time you leveled up, you unlocked a new section of races, from something like B-class cars to retro cars, all the way to FIA GT3 and FIA GT1 cars. In fact, certain sections had their own boss who were real race drivers. Plus, when you beat the finale in the section, you win that boss's car. Plus, the Team Need for Speed cars look beautiful. I love the black and white vinyls on the cars. It is so beautiful. Even though they aren't the fastest cars in the game, they are balanced and a lot of fun to drive. My personal favorite car is Mad Mike's RX-7 you get for beating the walk section. But my second favorite is easily the GT3 Sed 4.
Hey Ghost, if you're watching, can please add some Team Need for Speed raps as default raps in Need for Speed 2017. That would be awesome. Please do it. Please do it, babe.
I loved the tracks in this game. Both the real life tracks and the fake tracks combine to make a fantastic track list. Like, some of my favorite tracks on this game, and my favorite track, Mount Panorama. This game introduced me to that track, and that track is phenomenal. If you've never driven on it in any game, highly recommend. It's a cool track. It's varied. I like it because it's varied. Did I mention it's varied? It's varied. The game sounds. I've already praised the music, but the game's sound design is just as good. Now, I'm not small enough to know everything they did to the sounds, but what I do know is that the cars sound beautiful. And they also reflect the game's vibe and sound super aggressive and intense, just like nearly everything else in the game. You know, I feel like that's the best way to describe the game. Intense. This game is absolutely phenomenal. While a lot of racing fans don't like this game that much, I personally I don't see why. Like, for me, it's a game I can constantly go back to and get lost in. While I can't really do that in the other franchises like Forza, Gran Turismo, or the other shit. For me, it's easily 9 out of 10. In my opinion, this is one of the best racing games ever crafted.